What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. We are gonna track the markets as usual, starting out with the Dow, moving on to the DXY, and then Bitcoin. We'll start out with the smaller time frames of Bitcoin and jump out to the larger ones, and we'll look at our Amazon to Bitcoin comparison chart and kind of figure out where we're at. If that sounds good to you, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, we do daily updates and you won't want to miss them because we have been extremely accurate. Also, share the video if you would and leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the video. All right, let's take a look at the Dow. So the Dow is still within this channel. Our medium section we talked about yesterday is around 31,200 points. We almost tagged it. I told you to watch out for that. If we got above that, we would be bullish. We did not. And as expected, we are continuing to the downside. Now what we'll do is we'll come over here to the midsection along with the bottom of this rising channel that we broke down from. And that's around 31,075 points, right in that area. So if we get above that, then we can be bullish. Otherwise, everything else is going to continue to be bearish. I do think there is max pain coming. We could get a Dow rally today. It is a possibility. So just be aware that if we do, we may get one more little pump. But we'll talk about the areas to watch in Bitcoin also. But as you guys know, my target's around here to around the 28,000 range. If we do break that, we'd be looking for the 22. I do believe we are in more of a Great Depression than we are in a recession. In my opinion, I believe that's what's coming. I could be wrong, but you definitely want to pay attention to it, and you never know what's going to really happen in the market. Nobody does, but so far everything is playing out like we've expected here. So if we look at the RSI here, it does look like we did tag the bottom. Let's see how today closes. If it closes around here, 30,075-ish, it'll probably close below this RSI trend line, and that is not, I repeat, that is not a good thing. So definitely keep an eye on this RSI for the daily on the Dow at close today. Let's take a look at the DXY. DXY, as you guys know, I remain bullish. We can actually move this up a little bit. I do believe we'll at least tag this trend line. And right now that's going to be around 113. And if we do break above that and get support, as you guys know, I'm very bearish on the, or bullish, not bearish, on the DXY. I have been for a very long time. I think once we break this 113, our next target's going to be around 122. And then again, a break of that, coming down for a retest and getting support on that 122. Then we zoom out to the weekly. I've been showing this for a long time. Very bullish. We did break out of this falling wedge here. And if we take a measured move of that, that gets us all the way up to the 178 to 180 range. So it is very bullish looking for the long term. Again, we'll have little pullbacks where everybody says the dollar topped. We've been having them this whole rise up, guys. This is a very, 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 very bullish chart over the next year, or, you know, it could be 3 years. Who knows? We will be tracking it. And if you're following anyone that's just looking at Bitcoin, they're not getting the big picture. You have to look at traditional markets also, guys. Before we go into Bitcoin, make sure you check out Prime XBT. I do have a link down below. They do help support the channel, and you help support me by trying them if you're interested in trading. So definitely check them out. You can get bonuses by using my promo code Savvy50. You can get up to a $7,000 bonus. Savvy25 can get you 25% off your trading fees, which is huge. You can trade the regular markets, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Forex, everything all from one exchange. Definitely check them out. And let's get into it. I also have a tutorial on my YouTube channel. Definitely check it out. It'll help you understand it a little more. There's also a contest section where you can trade for totally free, and you can actually win real tradable funds. So, all right, so looking at our chart from yesterday, actually, we're going to start out with the daily first, and then we're going to move on into that 4 hour, just to take a look at the big picture that I've been trying to warn people of and show people what I believe is happening here. I believe we are waiting for a fifth wave down here. Remember, I said yesterday, a break of this 18.3, then we look for the 17.6, a break of that, and I do think we come down to at least the 15.5. We also have a weekly target of 14.5, and if those break, then we're looking for that 75 to $8,500 area, which I do think is a good possibility we get a bounce in that area, because I do believe that'll be the false bottom. maybe rally into next year, and then coming down to my lows about 35,000-ish, right? So if we look at the daily RSI, as you can see, it is heading down. I do believe we are going to come back down to this range and bottom. So we have a long ways to go in the daily RSI, right? Let's get this off of here. We'll take a look at if we do come down here to that 3,500 by the end of the year, then it could be the bottom. We may not get another rally after that. But I'm thinking it's more likely we get to 75 to 8,500 because everybody believes in the 4-year halving. So that would match up, and then we get a bounce off that 75 to 8,500, and then everybody thinks that's a bottom. Everybody buys in, only to turn around next year and come back and make a lower low. That is one possibility. The other is we just come down by the end of the year to here and truly bottom. But this is the measured move of this falling or descending triangle here that we've been watching. Remember, a break of that, then we're coming down to these lows, in my opinion. It doesn't mean we shoot straight down. This will probably be slow and methodical, something like this. You know, maybe get another rally up to retest the top of here before coming down. So not going to happen in a day, guys. But as you guys know, I think it could be a long time before we see 20,000 again. All right. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. About 4 days ago on Twitter, I posted that. Didn't get a whole lot of happy comments, but it is definitely a possibility. Not saying it's a guarantee, obviously, but it could be. If we break these levels, it may be a long time before we see 20,000. So let's take a look at the 4-hour and get a closer look at what's going on. Trying to make this pretty quick, guys. Whoops. So let's take a look at what we talked about yesterday, right? So yesterday we talked about getting rejection at this 19.8 area. It did get a little higher. We got to 19.950. Ooh, I missed it by $150, but and then come down to test this line, which was 18.3. Nailed it. Got our bounce. I do think this is about it. But remember, the one thing that can make me bullish is a break of this trend line, and right now that's about 21.8 to 21.9. If we do break this and open and close a 4-hour above that, or at least a couple 4 hours above that. If we do that, then we could look bullish and could start to look up at that 24.5 area again. But I don't think we're going to get up to this area. I could be wrong, but I do believe it's most likely we're going to break this bottom trend line here. We did wick below it here, so it's a good chance we come down. And again, we'll take a look at the weekly time frames too, but this would be our double bottom, which everybody's calling 17.6. If we get a bounce there, maybe come back up, retest this area before continuing down. Either way, guys, this is still looking very bearish. Anything under this 21.9 area remains bearish. And this, by the day, goes down pretty fast. So by the weekend, that's going to be around 21.5, 21.6. But again, we're looking for a break of the bottom or a break of the top. I do believe it'll be a break of the bottom. I definitely don't think the bottom's in, guys. I know a lot of people are calling that, but I don't think so. Let's take a look at the weekly. So the weekly, this is why I have my 14.5 target. Remember up here when we broke this rising channel, you take a measured move of the channel, bring it down to the break, and that got us our first low here at that 25.6. And then we made another bear flag using that same flag pull. We brought it down and we hit our target of 17.5 almost to the T. And then what did we do? We made another bear flag, and that measured move gets us down to about the 8,500, somewhere in that range. We can move this up just a little bit. 85, 8,600, somewhere in there. Now, we can look at this as a broadening wedge also. And if we take a move of the broadening wedge break, that gets us to approximately 14.5. That's where I get my 14.5. So 14.5 to 15.5 is where I see us going if we break that 17.6. Look for a bounce in there. It's going to bounce up. Everyone's going to get bullish again, just like every little bounce. And then we're going to continue down. We've talked about this for a long time. Here is the Amazon chart. I made this and a video on it on December 2nd of 21. Everyone called me crazy, but now everybody's talking about it, right? And I even told you in the video, if you watch that, if you go to my YouTube page, it's playing right when you open it. But I had said everybody would be talking about it. I wanted to get the video out before they did, which I did. And I told you about how these bear markets work and these bubble pop patterns. You get a big drop and then you get a rally. Everyone gets bullish again and wish they would have bought here, and then it drops again, and then everybody gets bullish again, and just all the way down, everybody just keeps wishing they would have sold at the last high. And that's exactly what we're getting here, guys. And we've talked about it too. Let me move this over. And if it plays out the same, like these are both weekly charts, and the time frames of tops and bottoms are almost identical too. So if this one was to play out, it may not be until February or March or next year before we get the false bottom, and then probably 100, like we did here. This doesn't look that big, but this was 100% rally, right? So if we get down to here, say that 7,500, 100% rally would get us up to 15,000, and then come down to make that lower low towards the end of next year. Now that would diminish everybody's 4-year cycle theory. That would lose everybody's confidence in the market. And that's why I think it could be 10 years from the high, which was last year. So it could be around 2021 or 31 before we actually break this high, if we even do. So that's what I'm looking at. You can look at it too in the RSI. How you'll know it's a false bottom if it does play out like this, it'll break this weekly trend line like it did here, get that false rally, and then come back down to retest the top of it, and that would be the true bottom, right? So if we do that, that would happen right around here, break that trend line, and it's a weekly trend line. Everybody will get super bullish, then to come back down only to make a new lower low. That is what I believe is going to happen unless we hit that low this year. So that's what I'm looking at. Let me know what you guys think. Also, the monthly, if we close this monthly below this trend line, extremely bearish, guys. Just be careful, be cautious. Be careful who you're listening to out there. A lot of these people don't even trade. A lot of these people really don't understand markets. They've only been around a few years for just in Bitcoin. And if you're just trying to track Bitcoin without looking at traditionals, they really have no idea of how markets work, guys. These are market structures we've been following. That's how I've called this so long ago. It's all about structure. It's not about adoption and blah, blah, blah. All that is just a bunch of hype. And what you get in a bubble pop is an overhyped speculative market, and it just comes crashing down like we have now. But in the big picture, if Bitcoin is to succeed, could look something like this. We've talked about this. This is the same Amazon chart on the weekly, but that bottom, a true macro bottom, is going to take a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years to form. You can see here, this one, all it did was formed a giant inverse head and shoulders to show the bottom. And if that's the case, Bitcoin could definitely rally, but I don't think it's going to be huge like people, think. We'll probably get this once it bottoms. This took about 2 years of a rally, a year and a half of a rally, right? Everyone will get extremely bullish there, but if you bought down here, you could hold it if you wanted to hold for years and years. But you can also play these and make a lot of money, because this bear trend here was from October 03 to 05. That was a 2-year drop. And then there's a lot of money to be made in here, guys. And if you just hodl this whole time, if you do catch the bottom, then you may, make some money in the long term. But there's a whole lot of money to be made on the ups and downs of this big swing. So just be careful. This is what I'm looking for. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget, smash those thumbs up, leave your comments down below, share the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next video.